Hi. So this week I had a little bit of a setback in a project that's really close to my heart. And it led to a little bit of catastrophizing and a little bit of lost sleep and some suffering, if I'm honest. And luckily, a very wise friend and some kind words kind of snapped me out of it, and I've been able to move on. But it made me think of a really important teaching from Buddhism. And so I want to share that really quickly with you today and how it relates to suffering. Hi, and welcome to this week's Happy Hour. So, ever since last year, I have been working on and creating in my mind this event that I want to hold to celebrate the fact that 2026 marks 5 years since I finished my treatment for breast cancer. And so I came up with this idea to hold a dance party, kind of like a friend of mine used to run a couple of years ago. For women, it's a safe space to come and dance and hang out with their friends and just have a really good time, but also to raise money for Hope Horizons, where I provide meditation services and who were a really big rock for me when I was going through treatment. And so it was all sort of coming together. I've got a great group of people who are coming on board to help me out with some of the logistics. And then another local charity launched a very similar dancing event the month before we'd planned to run ours. And so it kind of, everything kind of blew up in the air. And we're like, oh, can we do it? Can we change our dates? And then I kind of got really stressed about it. And then it took some kind words from a friend to just put it back into perspective. And that, yeah, sure, there's something else that's similar, but it's a big town. And maybe it's a chance for some of the people who are involved in all of the charity events to have a break and we can run something different and just still do it, which kind of snapped me out of it. And then I got thinking about how quickly one small setback can then escalate and go on to cause you so much grief. And it reminded me of a really powerful and very wise teaching from Buddhism, which is that to be alive and to be human is suffering. So it's never all going to go to plan. But the really important aspect of the teaching from Buddhism is that suffering is created in our mind. So it's a bit like that phrase from Shakespeare, nothing is good or bad, but thinking makes it so. And that's the kind of core of this teaching. The teaching is that pain is inevitable. You know, we are going to experience physical, emotional, mental pain. But it's the stories that we create around that pain that lead to suffering. So I think back many years ago, I had a pretty significant back injury and it was really painful. But the worst suffering was the story that I told myself for a period of time that this is how things were going to be, that and limiting myself because I have a back injury and all of those sorts of things. And it was through my meditation practice that I realized that there are moments of pain, but that wasn't all the time. And there were moments of joy in between. And if we focus too much on that story of the pain, then it basically colors our whole experience with those instances of pain. And we wash over the joy, we wash over the good times, and we just experience suffering. And even when something really awful happens, like a major injury or losing a loved one or all of them, the really hard things in life, going through serious illness, there are moments in that suffering or in that pain that aren't suffering. And we can draw our attention to those as well, so that we're not telling ourselves a story that everything is bad and that our experience is suffering. And that can just help tip the balance. Our brains are designed to notice the things that aren't going right. So we really have to make it a conscious decision if we want to notice those things in between the pain. It's not denying that the pain exists. It's just realizing that it's not constant and we don't have to fully engage with it. We can choose to really focus our attention on the small joys that happen in between the pain. And it's such a powerful reframe. You need to be careful not to kind of switch it into that false, positivity, only thinking good things, nothing's bad. That's not it. It's accepting that there will be pain, but it's not telling yourself a big story that the pain is everything and that life is suffering. And it's turning your attention, using a meditation practice to focus your attention on the good things. Rick Hanson is a great teacher in this area. He's written a number of books around the art of happiness and how to savor the good. I've spoken about him before, but it comes back to this fairly frequently. So it's a handy one to come back to. So hopefully there's something in there that resonates with you. Can you think about a time currently or in the past where perhaps you were really overly engaged in the story around your suffering? And were there actually some periods or some small moments of joy in that time that you perhaps could focus on if something similar happens again? If you're currently struggling, I feel you. Like it's not easy. And sometimes it can feel like the pain is constant. So it's a practice. It's small things. And finding that small piece of good and savoring it. All right. Hope you have a great week, and I'll see you next week.